Melissa didn't believe in nightmares that came true, not until she moved into apartment 3C. It was a fresh start, new city, new job, new life, and just enough quiet to finally feel alone. The building was old, a 3-story brownstone on the north side of Chicago, with faded brick, crooked floors, and a whisper of history in every corner. It felt like it had seen things, heard things, but rent was cheap, and the view overlooked the lake. The first week was uneventful. The second week was strange. At night, she began to hear things. Faint taps, breathing, something brushing against metal. She laughed it off. Old buildings always make noise, until the noises started moving. One night, she lay awake listening to soft dragging, like fingernails tracing through a vent. It began in the living room, traveled through the hallway, and stopped directly above her bed. Then silence. No thud, no scurry. Just the kind of silence that leaves a ringing in your ears, because it's too still. She started sleeping with the light on. It didn't help. By the third week, she could feel it. The weight, the watching, the air in her apartment changed. Heavier, colder. She told herself it was anxiety, isolation, the ghost of a bad breakup. But deep down, something primal whispered, "You are not alone." Then came the night everything changed. It was just after midnight. Melissa stood in her bathroom, brushing her teeth, trying to shake the tension from another sleepless day. The mirror was fogged from the shower, but as it cleared, her eyes drifted toward the vent above the sink. She froze. There, barely visible through the slits, was an eye. Not a trick of the light, not her reflection. A real human eye, wide and unblinking, staring directly at her. Her toothbrush dropped from her mouth. Her knees buckled. She stumbled backward into the hallway, slammed the bathroom door and locked it, as if that would make a difference. She dialed 911 with shaking hands. When the dispatcher asked her to stay calm, she couldn't respond. Her eyes stayed fixed on the vent over her living room, half expecting to see fingers curl through the grate. Police arrived minutes later. They searched the apartment, found nothing. Melissa was frantic, barely coherent. Finally, maintenance was called to open the crawl space above the bathroom. That's when they found him. A man, filthy, emaciated, silent, curled inside the ductwork like an insect. He wasn't homeless. He wasn't lost. He had been living there, moving through the vents at night, watching her, listening to her, breathing above her as she slept. In his backpack, they found a notebook. Inside were pages filled with handwritten notes, dates, times, what she wore, what she ate, how often she left the apartment. One entry read, "She looked at me tonight. I think she knows." He'd been up there for nearly a month. Melissa moved out the same day. She never returned to collect her deposit. She never slept with the lights off again. To this day, she avoids mirrors, especially ones near vents, because the scariest part wasn't that he had been watching her. The scariest part was that for weeks she had been talking to herself in that apartment, telling herself secrets, crying at night, singing in the shower, and she wasn't alone for any of it.